Hey guys, welcome to the Miss Pebble channel. So great to have you here. I'm Rebecca Pebble, that's Pebble's my middle name. And it's an honor to be a safe space where you can land, where we talk about all of life's topics, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Since we're just a bunch of little kids in grown-up bodies, let's talk about these topics, things that we're going through, things I know that I'm going through that I share with you, my journey, and vlog of my experiences. So thank you so much for stopping by. Today, in lieu of my Beatles shirt, today's topic is Let It Be. So many of you know that song. It's a very famous song by the Beatles. Like there's certain songs that I feel like everyone knows by the Beatles, but then there's like deeper cuts, which I highly recommend if you haven't gone through their catalog and found some of those. Definitely recommend that. Today is a wet hair edition. I hope that's okay. I don't know how professional you need to be on YouTube. But it's my channel, so we're gonna say wet hair is acceptable here, just like all sorts of things are acceptable. So as I always do, I just have a topic in mind and I'm just going to channel whatever needs to be spoken through me. Sort of, I don't want to say prophetic voice, but speaking life into you and giving you lots of love, hope, and light. So let it be. This is something that we all hear, we all know, and of course when the Disney Frozen movie came out with Let It Go and everyone was singing that, every kid was singing, every adult was singing it, and everyone was realizing like, oh my goodness, that's the crux of it all, right? Is letting things go. Because we tend to hold on to our idea of how things should be, how things should go. I'm the first one, I'll raise both my hands and say, it is a struggle. It is a struggle. And here I am in my third decade of life, and I still feel like I haven't learned sometimes just to go with the flow. And I know I did trust the process. I did a video on that recently, so this is in the same vein. But this one's about essentially non-attachment. This is a little underline. It's gonna be my thing. This is tricky, right? It sounds so easy. Just don't be attached. Just let it go. And people say all the time, it'll come back to you if you just let things go. Just let it be, right? But it's so hard. And I think something I have to remind myself is different metaphors, right? And I know I mentioned before the rope metaphor, where if you had a rope around your hands and you're clinging tightly, even though it's hurting you and it's like someone's pulling on the rope or something and it's cutting your hands, like you should just let go at that point, right? But for us, it's almost like energetically, spiritually, even though we feel the rope like cutting into our skin, we still want to hold on because we have, like I said previously, these preconceived notions of how it's supposed to be and go and all this stuff. But God has other plans. I do believe we're co-creating this reality with a higher power. So we don't have the whole say. And that's where I think non-attachment comes in. It's going, oh my gosh, there's another will that's greater than mine that I need to pretty much just relax into, because otherwise I'm going to be fighting every step of the way to have it work out the way that I think it should work out. So another metaphor with non-attachment that helps me is to think of monkey bars when you're a kid on the playground, and how you have to let go of one bar before you can reach on to the next one. And that is huge in life. Sometimes you have to let go of things in order for new, fresh things to come in, better things to come in. You're making space for what is ultimately meant for you. I think letting it be too is a mindset. It's this Zen way of being, right? It's saying, I only have so much information in my brain. I mean, we feel so, our egos feel so huge and so important, but then when you zoom out and you look at like the stars and the vast expanse of space, the galaxies, it's like, oh my gosh, I have such limited information to make all my decisions from, to be holding on to something that maybe isn't best, right? So I think it's having that mindset of just like a humble, keeping your ego in check, right? It's like perspective. I don't know if you guys have heard of Wu Wei, but that's philosophy is just sort of like just going with the flow is what it really is, and just letting things be and not being attached to them. Not easy. Which I think I say in all my videos now when I talk about these life lesson things. I'm like, it's not easy. But it really is tricky. I think that's why we're here learning these lessons, right? Because I think if we'd already mastered them, if our souls were good, I don't think we'd have to go through all this stuff because, like, well, what's the point? But I think because it's challenging us, it's growing us, it's fortifying us, and it's a good thing. So let it be. Let it be. I think about things in nature too. I almost want to say like unspoiling, unspoiled, spoiling, unspoiled, unspoiled. Like if you were to walk out in nature and see a flower, you could choose to pull the flower out of the ground, disrupting its growth and its cycle and just having it for yourself. Or you could admire it and walk by. This is so hard for me, guys. Like, I'm the person that wants to pick the flower and enjoy the flower and like hold the flower and sniff the flower and talk to the flower and be all about the flower and obsessed with the flower. But it's almost, sometimes you got to remember it's more beautiful sometimes if you can just let the flower be and admire it. Not saying you got to admire everything from afar, right? But in some cases, I think that's what letting it be is just letting something be in its state. And I've heard before, like, that's real love, right? Whether it's parental or familial, romantic, whatever kind of love it is letting that person be themselves and not having expectations or controlling or forcing or anything. It's just sort of saying it's love is giving them that space, right? So I guess this could go a little space. It seems to be a theme here, right? Space, with letting it go, letting it be, just space. And I think even having space expansion within ourselves in a way of just of almost like taking a bigger higher leap in consciousness and saying, I don't have all the answers, I don't know how this is going to play out, I just have to like release it and give it over and surrender all. As the old hymn says, I surrender all. And there's actually a really cool video, I don't know if I can find it, but Oprah really wanted the role for The Color Purple back in the day, and she didn't think she would get it. She was clinging on and like so upset because apparently I think another actress that was more established in the acting community, because Oprah's more of a journalist, right? Although she is an actress, but they're known for journalism more so, right? I think she found out she was going to get the role or was being considered or something, and Oprah's just like, oh my gosh, I'll never get this, but this is my dream role, I want it. And so she was at like a camp somewhere, walking the track, and she said she was singing I Surrender All. And she just said tears were flowing down her face. She just gave it to God and said, I give this to you, you know, yes, it's my dream role, it's what I want, but I surrender all. And would you know that it was like right after she sang the song, she got a call from Steven Spielberg and he offered her the role. So it's all about surrender. And not to say that's why you do it, because I think it's weird. It's almost like you can't fake out God, the universe, source, whatever you want to call it. It knows your intentions. So it's almost like if you are surrendering to get something, it's going to say nope. Because I guess then you're not really surrendering, right? Which is fair. It's like, okay, well, that's fair. So it all really comes down to just a surrender, a mindset, and letting it be, letting it flow, letting things go, flow, just riding the wave. and finding peace in the journey, in the process, which I know I talk about the journey a lot because that's something I struggle with. I'm somebody that wants to get straight to the end. I don't want to do the process. I'm not a process person. Some people enjoy the process. I'm like, nope. Just tell me how to get from A to Z, because I know it's Z. I will love what Z has to offer. But don't make me go through B, C, D, E, F, G, blah, 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 to get there. But you have to surrender to that, because it's in those letters along the way, right, that you're getting valuable information. You're molded, you're shaped, you're coming into your own in different ways. Like, I even feel myself, if I watch YouTube videos, I've had my YouTube channel I think like 4 years now. If I go back and I watch videos from the very beginning, it's a different Rebecca. My confidence has been boosted. I feel more grounded in who I am, what I represent, what I want, what I need, just so many things. And if I hadn't gone through a lot of different things in my life up to this point, I think I'd still be that same girl, that version, but just in 2023. So it's like you're playing this video game and you're collecting gems along the way. You can't skip that. You need to collect the gems, even if it's painful to get the gems, which it often is. That's where the gems are hidden, in those hard places, in the dark places. But some encouragement for you, because I don't want to leave you just with this. You're like, oh my gosh, I just have to surrender and let go, and I don't want to. I want to cling, because I get that. That's me. I'm totally right there with you. It's to remember that diamonds are formed under pressure. Seeds grow in the dark of the soil, right? So sometimes you're not being buried, you're being planted, and you will see the light again. You're going to sprout up, but you just got to hold on. And, hold on, let go. Hold on, meaning to yourself, to your faith, to your, hopefully, that optimistic outlook, without being like toxic positivity. There's a balance, right? Because you want to have your time where you wallow and you're frustrated and you kick and scream, but then you also want to get back to, okay, but it's all working out for my good. It's all working out for my good. So I want you to trust that it's going to be okay. I'm saying this as much for you as I am for me, because I'm going through a weird, funky time, which I've mentioned before. So I just want to encourage you. You're not alone. There's so many people going through so many things right now. And so reach out if you need someone. It's good to reach out to a friend if you're in a dark headspace. Find someone you can talk to. And if you need to, you can always comment here too. I want to build like a safe community for people that either want to share things, or maybe they're going through a hard time or something and need people to reassure them they're not alone. So that's a possibility too. The internet, you're able to connect in that way. So, all right, well, hang in there. Remember, just let it be. It will all be beautiful. And if it's not beautiful, it's not the end yet, because in the end, it will be beautiful. I believe that. So, all right, love you guys. See you later. Mwah.